Recently, Sergio Perez spoke for the first time about a future outside of Red Bull, saying that he wants to only work in an environment where he can add value. Pretty fair enough, I think. However, news recently came to light where he apparently ignored a team order in the closing stages of Monza, where Verstappen was losing speed and Perez was closing quite quickly. So with all this in mind, I think the Perez-Red Bull relationship is about to fall apart. So if it does fall apart, the question is, what happens to Perez next year? Well, let me tell you, Williams. Perez and Williams. Perfect combination. It's Williams. Perez needs to go to Williams. It's right there. And here's why. So if he did go to Williams for 2024 or 2025, we first have to look at the current situation there with Perez. How is he feeling? Well, I think it's pretty obvious from the interviews we see. He is feeling underutilized. His confidence is rock bottom. His body language all round just isn't looking good. And what's coming out in the media, there's no smoke without fire. Just generally, things aren't looking good. Perez is not a cold, calm character. He wears his heart on his sleeve. He seems like a pretty upfront kind of guy. He says and acts how he feels. So a move to Williams would give him exactly what he asked for in that interview, to work in an environment where he can add value. Williams would offer him a fresh start, chance to rebuild himself, and I'm absolutely sure, given the last few years, Williams would be very happy and very grateful to have him. Perez is a solid driver. He just needs change of scenery to just rebuild his confidence and also his enjoyment of the sport, his happiness of the sport, because clearly he's not enjoying it right now. And best thing of all, Williams would not just get Sergio, but they would also get his dad as well. And we really want to see more of his dad. What a legend that man is. Williams is currently engaged in a very heavy-duty rebuilding and restructuring process. Vowles has been absolutely leading this charge on this one. Perez would add some great insights into the team from Red Bull as well. Any useful bits of knowledge, tips, tricks, all that sort of stuff. And also with Mercedes powering Williams and having that connection there, I'm sure Mercedes would probably appreciate a couple of bits of information from Red Bull as well. Perez would also give Williams the chance to regularly get both cars finishing in the points. This hasn't really happened since 2017 when Williams had Massa and Stroll on the books. God, those Martini Williams were lovely, weren't they? Perez could actively contribute to Williams' resurgence and leave a fantastic legacy. Perez is currently 33, so he could easily get 3 or maybe 4 years at Williams should all go well. Also, Williams would have an actual race winner on their books for the first time since Felipe Massa. Having a driver who has been there before and knows how to win races must be of a huge advantage. They've got Alex Albon, who is doing an absolutely stunning job, but just to have another driver there who's kind of been there and done it would be invaluable for Williams right now. It's funny we mentioned Felipe Massa because you can actually draw a lot of parallels between Perez and Massa at the moment. Both came from very big teams. In Massa's case, Ferrari. Perez's case is Red Bull. Both of them were pretty broken and squashed. Both of these drivers had to answer to their teammates, having to move over a lot of the times and sacrifice their race. And just like Massa did, where he came to Williams, built himself up again and started getting regular podiums again, rebuilt his confidence, and he looked like an absolutely changed man. Perez could do exactly the same thing. Ultimately, Williams wants to add value to its team. Perez wants to add value and contribute, so it should surely be a match made in heaven for the pair of them. But by signing Perez, Williams could also benefit massively from this. You can kind of see what they were looking to do with Logan Sargent, American driver, 3 American Grand Prix on paper, it works. But in real life, I'm not so sure it does. The American sports fans, they love winners. This doesn't matter if you're American or not. Americans love the Michael Jordans, the Lewis Hamiltons, the Lionel Messis. The sports fans want to associate themselves with winners. Just like Europeans, the Americans do love an underdog story, but they only love an underdog story if it eventually comes good and they win, which I think with Logan Sargent isn't going to be the case. When you look back at the US Grand Prix earlier in the year, when they were speaking to fans and celebs, they said that they were supporting pretty much any other driver apart from Logan Sargent. Oh yeah, Verstappen. Oh, I absolutely love Max Verstappen. He's a fantastic driver. Yeah, Lewis Hamilton. Yeah, he's the one I want to look out for today. Go Lewis. Yeah, Chuck Leclerc. Absolutely, definitely Chuck Leclerc. Leclerc. You see, look back at it. No one gave Logan any interest at all. The stands are absolutely decked out with fans in Red Bull, Ferrari, and Mercedes kits because they're all winners. Everyone wants to be associated with that. I think Mexican fans appear to be the opposite. Mexicans will greatly support their own in any international sport, and no matter what level they're performing at as well. That's actually what I personally like to see. I mean, just look at the support that Perez gets at the Mexican Grand Prix. It's absolutely amazing. And if he wins, the roof absolutely blows off. There's 37.2 million people of Mexican origin in the USA. So for Perez to compete in those 3 American Grand Prix for Williams, plus the Mexican Grand Prix for Williams, you have potential there to reach an enormous amount of fans and for him to have an absolutely enormous following as well. And then for Williams' point of view, it's a great opportunity to shift some merchandise. And then alongside being a very competent driver when everything is balanced and everything is going well for him, Perez also brings in a great amount of sponsorship money in the millions. From Williams' point of view, that would be money in the bank and to fill up some empty looking space on the car, because that car, although the improvements and great product placement there with Duracell, is still looking a bit empty, and we like to see our cars absolutely covered in logos. It's a funny situation with Williams at the moment. They've got the second seat unconfirmed. There's Logan Sargent still in the mix with that. He's been getting better, definitely. There's signs of improvement, but also there's murmurs of Mick Schumacher there as well. Mick's been saying that the door is closing and things aren't looking as good as he would have hoped for the seat. But if I was James Vowles at Williams and if Perez became available, I would snap him up absolutely. They would benefit greatly from him, and I think that would lead to Williams becoming competitive in the next few years. And Perez would find himself again, he'd be happier, he'd have a new home, he would have a chance to create a great legacy there as well. So there we go, Sergio Perez to Williams. It works. I think it's a great solution. It works for everybody. Perez gets the chance to find himself again and enjoy the sport and actively contribute to a team, and Williams gets a fantastic solid driver to go alongside Albon and contribute to their whole restructuring project. It has to happen. Please happen. Guys, let's do this. So thank you so much for watching again. Please be sure to like, share and subscribe, and it'd be great to hear from you and see what you guys think. But yeah, plenty more videos on the way, and we'll see you again soon.